Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Simple Web App Devlog. So, there's only two things really to report, or three maybe. One is that I made, as you can see, like text boxes don't have their border and such, because I updated the way most of my input is going to work, and I made a component called input box. So, what input box is gonna have is that it's gonna have a text area, some buttons, that can later on do more stuff later on, and a drop zone. And it's not very customizable yet because I haven't worked all of the logic. But basically, the way it's going to work is that if you tell it to include a drop zone, then you would have one, and you would have a button to basically have a dialog to add stuff to the files and so on. If you tell it you don't want a drop zone, you're only going to have the text area here. And it basically makes the text area look, I guess, more seamless within the UI. I don't want too many borders anyways. That's probably gonna make things look a little ugly. I also reworked the way this what do you call it? The way that text area will scale, and I made sure that the scaling actually looks alright. However, for some reason, I still cannot calculate the width of like the text inside the text area correctly. But yeah, I'm doing just a rough estimate, a rough calculation. So it kind of is what it is. What else? The drop zone actually works now. So when I drag and drop anything within the input box, which is technically the input box, the entirety of the input box is a drop zone. This doesn't work, unfortunately, because I still haven't actually made it work. So it's gonna have to wait. And even if you click on this button and add a file, it will work as expected. So the way I did that is by using this package, react-Dropzone. Basically, highly customizable, allows you to do a lot of stuff, allow you to, tell it what is the maximum amount of files that you can add, for example. And it allow you also to specify the what do you call it, the maximum size for the files. It also can allow you to it gives you some functions to handle rejected files. It gives you functions for errors and so on and so forth. It gives you like a validation function if you want to make a specific validation function. So yeah, a lot of customizability, and it's relatively easy to use. And if you follow like any of these examples, if you use any of these examples, you can literally drag and drop. What do you call it? I mean, you can literally, what do you call it? Just copy and paste one of those. What do you call them? Examples, and it will work just fine. I didn't actually do that, but I was like, later on, I was like, I could have just copied and pasted it. But it's good that I wrote it myself, so that I understand it a little more. Um, so for the most part, this is the progress, like the total of the progress that I made so far. Uh, for the next part, hopefully the next week, I'm going to work on refactoring like the whole thing with the checkboxes and the way I make these things work and function without, the use of JavaScript, but that's pointless with a React project. So this is going to change. And I think after I'm also also have to I have to be able to remove the images. I still cannot remove images from like my file list and such. These things don't work actually. So that's another thing that I have to work on. But that's gonna be for the next week. Um, hopefully I would see you there the next time. Take care of yourself, and hope you enjoyed this one. Had a good evening.